In this video, I'm going to be going through 3 case studies about how I was able to help my clients get their cases dismissed without ever even going to court and without any charges ever being filed against them. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in California, and I help people put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. And again, in this video, I'm going to be going through 3 case studies and explaining how 3 different clients in 3 different situations were able to get their cases resolved outside of court with my assistance. Before we jump into the case studies, I need to explain something that not a lot of people really know and that I think is kind of counterintuitive about how this whole system actually works. So how it works is that after you get arrested, when you bond out or you're given a citation and you have court in a few weeks, maybe a few months, in most cases, no charges have actually been filed against you. And you may be wondering, well, Veronica, how could that be? I just paid $5,000 to get out of jail. I have paperwork that says that I have to show up at court, that I've been charged with, for example, 273.5. That's felony domestic violence, very, very common charge that this process very much applies to. How can you say that charges haven't been filed against me yet? Well, how it works is that the prosecution still needs to review the police report and anything else that is in your file and make a decision as to whether to file more serious charges against you, less serious charges against you, go along with whatever you were arrested for, dismiss the case altogether. They still have to figure that out. Only when they file paperwork saying that you've been charged and saying what you've been charged with will you actually have criminal charges. So you heard me mention that the prosecution, when they're making this decision as to what to do with the case, they're going to be looking at the police report and anything else that is in their file. Now, what else would be in their file? Well, they're going to see your criminal record or lack thereof. And if you hire an attorney, then that attorney is going to strategize and figure out what else they can add to the file to decrease the chances that charges will be filed against you. Okay, so now that you have the general lay of the land of how all of this works, I want to get into 3 case studies where I explain how my team helped 3 different clients get their charges dropped without ever going into a courtroom. Client A. Client A had a pregnant girlfriend who went to the hospital. She had been injured. Now, she made statements to the hospital staff that led them to believe that she was a domestic violence victim and that he was the perpetrator. So the police came out to the hospital while he was by her hospital bed and dragged him away in handcuffs. She's actually the one who called me. She didn't want charges to ever be filed against him. She said that she was a bit out of it. She was on pain medicine, and the hospital staff kept interrogating her. She doesn't know exactly what she said, but she knows that she got these injuries while rollerblading. While the DA was still reviewing the case, I submitted to the DA a statement from her, a summary of my client's story, a photograph of her rollerblading, and character letters from people who had known the couple for a long time, saw that they were a happy couple, saw that he was peaceful, had never heard of any sort of domestic violence ever occurring in the relationship. And the district attorney decided to dismiss the case. So they were done, case closed, without ever having gone to court. Client B was accused of stealing makeup from a makeup store, petty theft. She called me. She was really worried because she's in college. She can't have any kind of conviction, even just a misdemeanor on her record. It could ruin her job prospects. I mean, she's going to be graduating soon, and a misdemeanor stays on your record for at least a year. She didn't want that coming up on background checks. So I got right on it. I contacted the district attorney's office. I submitted proof that she's in college, character letters, a letter from me explaining that this is somebody who has a bright future ahead of her and she really can't get a conviction on her record. The city attorney's office contacted me and set up a hearing. During that hearing, the city attorney had reviewed everything that I submitted, had also reviewed the police report, which did have pretty solid evidence against her, and agreed to dismiss the case if she would do a few hours of online anti-theft classes. That client was ecstatic. She was happy to do some online classes in exchange for a dismissal because now her record is going to be completely clean as though she had never gotten in trouble in the first place. Now let's get into client C. He and his wife were here from another country for the wife to get surgery. They called me and they were both very concerned. The terms of his bond said that he couldn't even leave the country. But on the other hand, he couldn't legally stay here either. He was trying to figure out what to do. We had a few weeks before the court date. I think it was about a month and a half. So I sent them to online couples counseling. And by the way, if you're interested in that, I will link below in the description box the one that I always send my clients to. It's the easiest to get proof from. It has individual counseling and couples counseling. So that can be really great for domestic violence situations. The reason why I sent them to this couples counseling is because sometimes when you can show the district attorney, the city attorney, that the client is making progress, that maybe there was a problem, obviously something happened that he got arrested, and that this was a once in a lifetime thing that is never going to happen again. They are taking steps to make sure that it is never going to happen again. Then the chances of being in that pile of cases that get dismissed or get a city attorney hearing and then get dismissed, that increases greatly. So I sent them there right away. We did get a city attorney hearing. I submitted proof of all of this along with proof of my client's work history, the fact that he has no criminal record, good things about him, character letters to the district attorney, and the district attorney then decided to send this over to the city attorney. The city attorney then gave us a city attorney hearing date. By the way, my city attorney hearing success rate is 100%. And the reason that it is 100% is because if you know what to do, they're very easy. If you know what to say, if you know what to tell your clients to say, then they are easy. And I've never had a city attorney decide that they're going to file charges against my client after one of these hearings. Now, at the city attorney hearing, she did appreciate that they were in couples counseling. She said that that was actually the reason why they decided not to file the case right away and give him this chance with the hearing. But she wanted him to do 52 weeks of domestic violence classes. Now, post-COVID, you can do some of these online, but at that point, you really couldn't. So I explained to the hearing officer his situation. He didn't live in the country. He legally couldn't stay in the country for much longer. And so she agreed that he did not have to do any domestic violence classes, and she closed the case. I hope that this video was helpful. To me, one of the most important things that you can do in a criminal case if you were arrested, bonded out, and have a hearing date coming up is have an attorney contact the district attorney, contact the city attorney before court to try to get these things tossed out, to try to get a good result, to try to persuade them. Because otherwise, all that they're looking at is the police report, and if you were arrested, then whatever's in the police report is probably not going to be good for you. If you did find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, ring the bell. And if you do have a criminal case in California, feel free to book a call with me. You can find a link down below. You can also find my number down there.